Hey guys, somebody needs to keep the matches and the gasoline away from the Dodgers bullpen. The Chargers appear to have changed the throwing mechanics of Justin Herbert, and you can cross off any idea of Damian Lillard playing in a Lakers uniform. Good morning, I'm James. This is your daily dose of sports and snark for the greatest sports city in the world, Los Angeles. This is the faithful Angelenos Morning Report. So it is June 12, 2023. You could say I'm guilty of maintaining hopium, but I'm still happy that the Galaxy got a tie in St. Louis yesterday. I'm also happy that we added yet another new subscriber to the Angeleno Familia. We are trying to build something here for LA. And if you like being in the know about LA sports, clickety-clack the like button, clickety-clack the subscribe button. There's a notification bell. Hit that to let you know we drop new content. Sharing is caring, let people know we exist. And yeah, comment. Try to get back with all of you guys. Make the honest attempt anyway. Now, before we go through the news and notes and look at the scoreboard, Freddie Freeman hit a home run. Jason Hayward hit a home run. And Philadelphia got the Dodgers again 7-3. Look, the Dodgers are slumping, and we're going to get into detail as to why they are in just a moment. Galaxy won, St. Louis won. There is a rapid recap of that match on the Galaxy playlist. Daniel Aguirre scores in the 85th minute. He lifts the Galaxy to a hard-fought draw on the road. Meanwhile, Jordan Canada scores 18 points for the Sparks, who fell to Minnesota 91-86. There is a reason that the Sparks, they don't suck, but they're kind of mediocre at 4-4. And that's because they're not smashing the teams at the bottom of their standings. The Lynx earned just their second win of the year. Meanwhile, today, nothing. So let's get to the news and notes. Dodger relievers are starting so many fires that Justin Trudeau wants proof that they weren't in the forests of Canada last week. That's how bad they've been. I don't want to mislead you guys. You see, yesterday alone, we were talking about how Bobby Miller is off to this historic start to his major league career. And he is off to a historic start. And Clayton Kershaw, he's always bringing the awesome. But the rest of the Dodgers pitching staff, and definitely the bullpen, it's kind of like the economy right now. It sucks. The Dodgers bullpen suck. I've been contemplating the different levels of stink out there to compare these guys to. It's not quite roadkill stink, not quite that deep. It's kind of like being forced to judge a farting contest level stink. I mean, and sure, they keep circulating different arms in there. We're going to talk about whether or not that can be done outside the organization in a moment. They keep doing it in-house. They've added reliever Adam Kolarek yesterday from the minors. They dropped Andre Jackson back down to AAA. Kolarek has posted a 2.18 ERA in the minors, but we have to be honest with ourselves. This is not simply about Noah Syndergaard. The Dodgers bullpen could be single-handedly blamed for the team falling out of first place. They're now 3.5 games behind Arizona. They are 3-10 in their last 10 games, and in that stretch, the opposing team walked off on the Dodgers 3 times in 4 days, which means it's the bullpen. It's the bullpen. It's the bullpen. And so Dave Roberts even tried to flip the script. He tried to start the game with the bullpen instead of the other way around, seeing if that would shake things up. It didn't work. I mean, maybe it did in the sense that the bullpen lost the game early so the rest of us could go do something else to cope with the pain that we just saw. Caleb Ferguson comes in, right? He's immediately given a pitch clock violation because he didn't come in from the bullpen fast enough. Then he gives up back-to-back weak singles in a row, and Philadelphia's already on the scoreboard and they're off and running. Let's talk about this in historical terms. The last time the Dodgers had a bullpen this craptacular, where the ERA was 4.45 or higher, was Walter Alston back in 1958. Dodger Stadium was a pipe dream to the O'Malley family back then. They were playing in the Coliseum. Now the entire staff away from home, 5.70. Here's some more numbers to turn your stomach. The home run rate, typically top 5 when Dave Roberts is managing the Dodgers, is now 21st in Major League Baseball. They're giving up tape measure blast, one right after the other. First pitch strikes, You always hear people say, oh, you got to get that first pitch over the plate. Dodgers typically top 5, they're 12th. Now, Roberts, for his part now, he's trying to act like a life coach who swallowed a fistful of amphetamines. Quote, the expectation is the guys that have underperformed up to this point will perform better. And it's my job to keep putting them in the right spots. Hopefully come up with some answers. Here at Faithful Angelenos, we try to deal with reality. You're probably saying reinforcements are needed, and you're right. But there is no trade market for closers right now. Because the trade market doesn't heat up until the trade deadline comes up. And the reason it does at the trade deadline is that's because teams know whether or not they have a shot at the playoffs right now. Aside from the Oakland A's, there are very few teams that are definitely out and are looking to rebuild their minor league system. So that's an issue. Number 2, do we even know if the Dodgers want to make a trade? Remember, they cut hundreds of millions of dollars off of their payroll from last year. The reason, presumably, so that they could have those hundreds of millions to just have a row of Brinks trucks loaded with cash just park themselves in Shohei Ohtani's driveway. So the Dodgers went into the season happy talking that they had no closer. Closer by committee. No, it's not working. Closer by committee is not working. So to me, the best solution right now is to get more innings from the starters. But even that's a little wonky. Do you know who the 2 best innings eaters are on the Dodgers staff right now? It's Julio Urias and Dustin May. Both of them on the injured list. Roberts said May is weeks away from throwing a baseball, let alone being in a major league game. He's on the 60-day IL. We know Urias is still a couple of weeks away. So we have to recognize reality. The Dodgers have a legit problem right now. Oh, I still have every reason to believe that they're going to make the playoffs. I do. But this is a legit problem. I don't know if they're going to be able to solve it. I don't. Now, this is a move that was expected. Trace Thompson was placed on the 60-day IL due to a strained oblique muscle. You hate to be cold-blooded about these things, but he was hitting 155 at the time that he got hurt. Dude is going to need time in the minors, not just to find out if he can swing a bat without pain, but to see if he can swing a bat, period. I have no idea if minor league shortstop Alex Freeman will make the majors, but he's getting a lot of attention now because he plays with clubfoot. Yeah, it does make his run look a little funny, and yet he's playing the one position on the field that demands the most in terms of speed, agility, those quick twitch fibers you hear people talk about once in a blue moon. Teams passed on him when the amateur draft came up. But according to Dodgers amateur scouting director Billy Gasparino, he's telling The Athletic, quote, he didn't hide from it at all. He was like, yeah, I have it. Almost in defiance. I can still run. I can still play shortstop. Let me show you I can do it. So admire Freeman for his chutzpah. He's a professional athlete with clubfoot, playing an extremely demanding position. Kudos. The Chargers, they aren't admitting it, but apparently they have been changing Justin Herbert's throwing mechanics. So instead of throwing like, say, Phillip Rivers, kind of slinging it around a little bit lower, Herbert's been going over the top. And frankly, I think it's a smart call for a number of reasons. 1, Herbert is 6'6". Try to block this pass. Your vertical has to be legit. Oh, you have a shot at blocking this, but not that pass. Number 2, we've been talking about the Chargers trying to throw deep regularly with the new offense from Kellen Moore. How in practice, the OTAs have been doing a lot more deep passes. Not exactly to chuck a football 65, 70 yards when you're doing like this. You need to wind up and let that bad boy go like a javelin. So that makes sense as well. And by the way, there is a possible third reason. Herbert injured his ribs last year. What seems less painful to injured ribs? Going like this with a little bit of relief, or stretching that muscle back and just having it carve over your blasted out ribs? So yeah, I think this time is the time. Justin Herbert needs to go over the top, and it'll help the Chargers immensely if he can do so on a regular basis. Good idea. Longtime viewers know that earlier this year I worked for a few months up in Portland, and while I was there, I made a point of definitely watching the Lakers play the Trailblazers. That night, Damian Lillard single-handedly just slaughtered the Lakers, like 30 points in the first half. It was crazy good. You had to tip your cap. It was simultaneously beautiful and exceedingly painful. It's kind of like, I don't know, having a Victoria's Secret supermodel repeatedly kick you in the testicles. Beautiful and painful, but I digress. Lakers fans for years have been envisioning Lillard playing here. It's not happening. He went on some random podcast that I don't listen to, and he likened him going to LA. He wondered aloud if they would treat him the way the Lakers treated Russell Westbrook. Quote, "They got Russ coming off the bench like he's not a Hall of Famer? Man, that's Russell Westbrook." Like, what? Now, granted, we take style points away from the fact that Damian Lillard spoke like a 13-year-old girl. I totally get that, but the point is made. He's looking at the Lakers coaching staff wondering what would happen in the latter stages of his career. One of the most infamous stories in Laker lore involves Nick Van Exel. The 1-2-3 Cancun chant that you hear every so often on Inside the NBA, joking about a team that has given up in the playoffs. Robert Horry, a Laker legend who is a former teammate of Nick Van Exel, said that was just taken out of context. For those who don't know the story, both were on the Lakers with Shaq and Kobe, but this was pre-Phil Jackson. So that team is getting smoked by Utah in the playoffs. They're down 3-0. And so instead of chanting 1-2-3 win or 1-2-3 defense or whatever, Van Exel broke up a huddle by saying 1-2-3 Cancun, insinuating that they were just one ass kicking away from a bomb-ass summer vacay. Horry said that Van Exel was trying to get the fellas to loosen up, make a joke. Yeah, Del Harris wasn't laughing that much at that one. Guys, this is a lie. I've never met Robert Horry. I don't know how often he lies. This is a lie. It's just a lie. I get backing up your teammates. This is a lie. Look, if Horry simply said, look, guys, he made a mistake. The Lakers have won 6 rings since we got rid of Van Exel. He was a pretty good player. Maybe it's time we just let bygones be bygones and forgive him. If he said that, I could accept that. I really could. But Nick Van Exel, for all of his fight being a second-round draft pick who became an all-star, Nick Van Exel is synonymous with quitting. He's just going to have to live with that. It's not my fault. LAFC is frustrated. They should be. But I'm not sure this is a post-CONCACAF Champions League hangover. That has been what has been written about in the soccer press. Oh, they lost to León in CONCACAF Champions League final. The Sounders, they reached CONCACAF Champions League final. They won the thing, and they slumped all year in MLS. It must be this hangover. I'm not sure I buy it. LAFC has 4 losses and a tie in 5 matches. That wasn't all CONCACAF Champions League. It started in US Open Cup against the LA Galaxy. And by the way, the Black and Gold need to solve this issue relatively quickly. They're about to play 9 games in 35 days. Now, I'm not sitting there trying to tell you that LAFC is toast like the Seattle Sounders were last year. I don't want to go there. But there's a storm coming. And LAFC, do they have the depth to withstand that storm? That is the question that needs to be answered. Do they have the depth? Are you an analytics nerd? People like me who don't know how to read that numbers minutiae, they look at second-year quarterback Kobe Durant and they say, you know what? There's potential for the guy. He had 4 picks last year. According to the group Next Gen Stats, from week 13 until the end of the year, Durant was the 5th best rookie cornerback in terms of completion percentage. He was a negative 10.6. So there's a friend of mine. Adam Rank of the NFL Network. He drew the conclusion that Durant's numbers make the Rams feel comfortable moving on from Jalen Ramsey. I'm just not sure I agree with that assessment. See, Ramsey played the star position. It's a hybrid of corner, nickel, safety, linebacker. You line them up all over the field. Durant's numbers are specifically about one facet of the game, coverage. Ramsey played the run. Ramsey played a number of different things. If Durant does replace Ramsey, he's got to do more than just simply be a cover guy. So I'm not sure that I equate that stat to the Rams' comfort level. What are the Kings going to do in goal? What are the Kings going to do to stop the puck? We've been hearing that a lot. Straight talk. I have no effing idea. Multiple sites, blogs and whatnot, they've listed 10 names of options that the Kings could go for to try and solve the problem in goal. And then The Athletic, a trusted name in sports coverage. They come out and they say, hold my beer, and then they drop 14 names. You mean you couldn't narrow it down? The Athletic, with sources across the NHL, really reliable, really strong NHL coverage. They have no effing clue what the Kings are going to do. None. And so if they don't have a clue, I'm not going to sit there and tell you I know something they don't. So we don't even know if the Kings are thinking about net. Meanwhile, what they are thinking about it. So we're just going to have to be patient with LA. But you let me know what you think in the comments thread. Let me tell me what you think about the Dodgers bullpen. If you're a Chargers fan, do you like the idea of changing Justin Herbert's throwing mechanics? And if you enjoyed the content, don't forget to subscribe to Faithful Angelenos. We're talking LA sports every single day here. Thank you for watching. I'm James. We'll be back tomorrow. Faithful Angelenos is a Kian Corte El Queso production. Take care.